She rolled her ankle, removed the tape, and kept playing. The night Alex Eala refused to quit. She landed wrong. The stadium heard it before they saw it. A sharp intake of breath from 10,000 people at once. 1 second, she was in complete control of her match. The next, she was on the ground clutching her ankle, and every single person wearing a Philippine flag around their shoulders felt their stomach drop. This is the story of what happened next, and why what she did in the minutes that followed tells you everything about who Alex Eala really is. The hook you came for. Here's the question this video is going to answer. When the tape that was supposed to protect her ankle started working against her, Alex Eala made a decision that could have ended her tournament on the spot. She ripped it off, mid-match, with everything on the line. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly how that gamble played out, and what it cost her just 2 days later in a match that nobody saw coming. If you're new here, this channel breaks down the biggest moments in tennis as they happen, with the real quotes, the real numbers, and none of the noise. Hit subscribe now so you don't miss the next one, because this story is far from over. A city that forgot it wasn't Manila. To understand why an ankle injury in a third-round match sent shockwaves through an entire tournament, you have to understand what Alex Eala had already built in Toronto before she ever stepped on court that day. The 21-year-old Filipina had arrived at the National Bank Open, the WTA 1000 event also known as the Canadian Open, fresh off the biggest win of her career. Just days earlier, she had claimed her first ever WTA Tour singles title at the Medalist DC Open in Washington, beating world number 3 Jessica Pegula in the final. She walked into Toronto as the 25th seed, the world number 20, and the hottest player on tour. She opened her Canadian Open campaign with a bye, then dismantled American Alicia Park 6-1, 4-6, 6-2 in the second round. That win pushed her winning streak to 7 matches. And with every round she survived, the crowds at Sobeys Stadium grew louder. They weren't just tennis fans. They were the Filipino diaspora of Toronto, showing up in numbers nobody expected, waving Philippine flags, wearing homemade shirts, packing a 12,500 capacity stadium to cheer for a 21-year-old from Quezon City who had never played in front of a crowd like this before. For Filipino-Canadian community leaders, the atmosphere wasn't just about tennis. It was about a diaspora finally watching one of their own compete on one of the biggest stages in the sport. And then came the third round, Caty McNally, the match that went sideways. McNally, the American world number 70, had just knocked out reigning Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina's fellow contender in the previous round. She was playing with nothing to lose and everything to prove. Eala took the first set comfortably, 6-3. The Filipina was cruising. The flags were waving. And then, midway through the second set, with Eala leading, it happened. She hit a forehand, landed awkwardly, and rolled her ankle. The chair umpire called for the physio. The trainer rushed onto the court. Eala took a medical timeout while her ankle was taped up. And for a few unbearable minutes, 10,000 fans sat in stunned silence, waiting to find out if the run was over before it had really begun. "I kind of rolled my ankle in that second set," Eala explained afterward. "I hit the forehand and I landed kind of wrong. I called the physio, and I don't know what happened because it happened so fast." Here's what almost nobody in that stadium expected. The injury didn't end her tournament, but it also didn't just quietly go away. What happened over the rest of that match is the part of the story that actually decides everything, so if you've made it this far, stick around because the tape trick alone is worth the watch. When the cure became the problem, Eala came back out with her ankle heavily strapped, determined to hold onto her lead. But something was wrong. The tape that was supposed to stabilize the joint was instead making her hesitant. She couldn't trust her footing, couldn't commit to her movement, couldn't play the aggressive tennis that had carried her through the tournament. So she made a call that most players wouldn't dare make in the middle of a WTA 1000 match. She had the tape removed during a changeover. It was a genuine gamble. Without support, if the ankle gave out again, her tournament and possibly more could have been over in an instant. But the alternative was worse. Playing scared, one step behind, against an opponent who was sensing blood. And McNally did sense it. While Eala's movement was still adjusting to playing without the tape, the American won 3 straight games to snatch the second set 7-5. after Eala had actually been serving for the match at 5-4. A one-set cushion evaporated. 10,000 fans who had been ready to celebrate now found themselves staring down a deciding third set, nerves stretched to breaking point. But here's the twist nobody in that crowd saw coming. Freedom over protection. With the tape gone, something shifted. Eala's movement, which had been tentative and guarded, started to come back. Freer, more confident, more like the player who had just won a title in Washington. She opened the third set by breaking McNally's serve to grab a 2-0 lead. And this time, she didn't let it slip. Both players held serve the rest of the way, and Eala closed out the match 6-3, 5-7, 6-4, after 2 hours and 41 minutes on court. "I want to thank Caty for a great match, being a great sport," Eala said afterward. "It's one of those matches that really could have gone either way. I think it was really down to details and a little bit of luck." It was her third straight win over an American opponent, and it pushed her winning streak to 7 matches, one of the best stretches of her young career. Now here's the part where you'd expect the relief to set in. Not entirely, because what Eala revealed next in her press conference was more honest and more human than most athletes are willing to admit in the moment of victory. "I'm as tired as one can be." Sitting down with reporters after the match, Eala didn't pretend the run had been easy. She confirmed the ankle itself was fine. "Luckily, there's nothing wrong with it, and it was no serious problems," she said. "But the bigger issue wasn't the joint. It was everything else. I needed to push a lot," she admitted. "I'm as tired as one can be at this stage. You can imagine a lot of matches, but that's the job. I'm ready. I'm excited for another match. I'm going to do my best to recover and start again from zero." Think about what she had just played through. 7 matches in under 2 weeks, 4 of them going the distance, a title run in Washington, a punishing travel schedule, and now an ankle scare on top of it all. She called it part of the job, a learning process, as she put it. But she also made it clear that recovery mattered more now than ever, because the next opponent waiting for her was not going to make anything easy. That opponent had an Olympic gold medal. The opponent who knew exactly what she was facing. Standing between Eala and a Canadian Open quarterfinal was Belinda Bencic, the Swiss veteran, Tokyo Olympics gold medalist, former world number 4, and the tournament's youngest ever champion when she won it in 2015 at just 18 years old. Bencic had survived her own 3-hour battle in the previous round, outlasting American Taylor Townsend in a match that lasted over 3 hours and 20 minutes. Both women were walking into their 4th round meeting running on fumes. For Eala, it would be the first time facing Bencic, a clean slate, no history, no past defeats to think about. "Oh, super excited," she said before the match. "It's going to be the first time that I'm facing her. Of course, Belinda, she has accomplished so much in tennis. I remember watching her win the Olympic medal, so I think I'm really excited to be on court again." If you've been enjoying this breakdown so far, this is exactly the kind of story this channel exists to tell. The real numbers, the real quotes, the moments that don't make the highlight reel but explain everything about how a match actually turns. Subscribe now, because what happened in that 4th round match is not the fairy tale ending you might be hoping for, and you deserve to hear exactly how it unfolded. The moment the streak ended, Eala came out sharp. She broke Bencic's serve early to level the opening set at 4-4, and for a moment it looked like the Sobeys Stadium crowd was about to get the signature win of the tournament. But Bencic, the 12th seed, settled in and reeled off the rest of the set to take it 6-4. Then came the second set, and it was where the accumulated toll of 2 weeks of relentless tennis finally caught up with the 21-year-old. Bencic surged to a 5-0 lead, dictating with her serve and her returns, while Eala, visibly drained, struggled to find any rhythm. To her credit, Eala didn't fold quietly. She clawed back from 0-40 down in the 6th game, ripping off consecutive winners to drag Bencic to deuce and save 3 match points along the way. But Bencic closed it out on her second opportunity, sealing a 6-4, 6-0 victory in just over an hour. It was a bagel set, the first Eala had suffered since a loss earlier in the season, and it snapped her 7-match winning streak in brutal fashion. Bencic, gracious in victory, thanked the crowd afterward. "I know most of you guys were cheering for Alex, but I still have to say it was very nice for me to play in front of you all. Thank you so much for the great crowd tonight. What this run actually means. It would be easy to look at that scoreline and call it a disappointing end. But zoom out and the picture looks very different. In the space of 2 weeks, Alex Eala won her first ever WTA Tour title, beating a top 3 player in the final to do it. She then carried that momentum into a WTA 1000 event, survived a punishing 3-set battle while playing through a genuine ankle scare, and made the 4th round of one of the biggest tournaments on the calendar, all while igniting a wave of Filipino support that turned a hardcourt stadium in Toronto into something that felt, for a few nights, like home. The loss to Bencic wasn't a collapse. It was fatigue, the honest, unavoidable cost of playing 7 matches in under 2 weeks against increasingly dangerous opponents, with barely any time to recover in between. Eala herself seemed to know it was coming. She'd warned reporters days earlier that she was running on empty, even as she promised she'd find a way to keep fighting. And she did keep fighting, all the way to the brink of that Bencic match, saving 3 match points along the way rather than letting it end quietly. That's the version of Alex Eala this tournament revealed. Not a player who never loses, but a player who refuses to make it easy for anyone to beat her. What comes next? Her ankle held. Her body finally didn't. But a 21-year-old who just won her first tour title and pushed a Tokyo Olympic gold medalist for a full set at a WTA 1000 event isn't a cautionary tale. She's a player who just showed the entire tour exactly how far she's willing to push herself, and exactly how loud a crowd will get behind her when she does. If this is the version of Alex Eala we're seeing now, the next major final isn't a question of if. It's a question of when. If you want to be there for that moment when it happens, this is the channel to follow. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below. Do you think the tape decision was the right call, or too big a risk? Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.